Hey everybody, this is Harley, back with another edition of the Domain of Arbaces quest. This is the fourth floor of the Domain of Arbaces. I have to fight this dreaded Lavawyrm, which is apparently one of the toughest bosses in here. First you have to find him, like all the other bosses on the Domain of Arbaces. His room is a room with a single exit to the north, and so before I went in, once I found the room, I made sure the mobs were cleared out around the area. Previously, I'd had some trouble with mobs interrupting me during the battle. This guy has a high regen, and so once you start fighting him, you don't want to get interrupted. You need to burn him down as fast as you can to try to overcome his regen script. So that was a problem for the first couple times. I think I just lucked out this time, the fact that the mobs didn't wander in. But anyway, so my strategy was to first obviously start off by dispelling him. So I'd come in before a tick, calm, and then dispel him as much as I can. You want to take away his haste, obviously. You want to take away his you want to take away his haste, you want to take away his sanctuary and his fire shield, if you can. If you can't, well, good luck with that. But so took those off, and then I spelled him up as best I could with he is poisonable, he is plaguable. So I fairy fired him, poisoned him, and plagued him. You want to try to debuff this guy as much as you can to keep his regen, to try to prevent his regen. Once I had them all spelled up, I would enter combat, usually with Condemn, and hope that it landed on armor class instead of whatever the other one is, saving versus spell. So then I'd start with Condemn, then slow him. I read on the way into Domain of Arbaces, there's these tablets you can read that sort of describe how 4 heroes sort of did the Domain of Arbaces the first time, and there's like a tablet for each floor. So one of the tablets I was reading about mentioned that Sir Tristan from Maroon was fighting the Lavawyrm, and the frost on his small steel mace had some counteractive effect against the Lavawyrm's like flame breath or something. So originally my thought was I'm going to get a frost weapon, which there aren't very many of those. Where did I get it from? I picked up a frost blade, which is like a level 200 something sword that deals frost damage. And after I went through all the trouble of doing that, it was not insulated, and it got like fragged within 5 rounds. But anyway, I decided to keep frost up as far as a debuff throughout the fight. I don't know if it helped. I think it might help stop his regen script. I don't know. Either way, I kept frost up, kept plotting fugue up, I kept soothing nocturne up, and all the debuffs I had, I tried to keep them up as much as I could. I also stockpiled. I ran my bag of tricks before I came here, and once I hit DOA and was like buffing up and stuff and looking around for the worm itself, I ran my bag of tricks to get some flash bombs. I've never landed blind on the serpent, and I don't even know, the blind song, so don't even bother with that, I don't think. I don't know if the flash bombs worked. Somebody mentioned flash bombs seem to have helped them in the past, so whatever. I had about 10 or 20 of those, and I kept those up as much as I could. I also stockpiled, kept the ice bombs as well that came out of my bag of tricks, just for anything that would help. When I first time I fought this guy, I tried to do it like just like a regular fight, which I used to do, which would be sort of defensive play, where I just try to grind it down just by hitting it with a weapon, and most of my time I'd be spent healing myself in combat in between rounds. it turned out when I did that with this guy, I wasn't dealing nearly enough damage, and I had to go on the offensive more. So my options for, well, I can't do Flint Strike. This guy, I think, is immune to fire or something. So, or yeah, I'm guessing immune. So normally I do sort of Flint Strike and Fireball, or use Harm a lot since it's regentless and does pretty high damage. But for some reason I went with Tremolo, which does sonic damage, and it seemed to work in the past. Apparently there used to be a song called what is it? Something Dirge, which dealt mental damage, but apparently it was too strong in PvP or something. So they just took it away from bards completely. So I have no mental damage song. So I went with Tremolo, and luckily, right before this fight, somebody had been looking for like months, looking for a scroll of a spell called Tinnitus, which is a sort of lowers the target's resistance against sonic damage, which is a good pairing, obviously, with Tremolo. But the scrolls, it seemed like nobody ever had the scroll, and then randomly on my way down to DOA, I asked if anybody had one, and apparently a bunch of people had them just hanging around. So I had Tinnitus scribed at 1% for this fight, and I used that as well, and that seemed to actually be pretty effective. So basically, that was my whole strategy, is just keep this guy debuffed, go all out offensive while I'm in combat with him, and don't even bother healing in the room at all. If I need to heal, I'd flee north and heal there, and just sleep. Maybe sleep one tick or something. And then come back in and just keep with damage, keep dealing damage as much as I could. One other thing that was pretty helpful, I think, was I used this, I don't know if you'd see, well, right here I'm drinking from this fountain, which casts Cure Light. I wasn't sure how much mileage you get out of this. I don't really use fountain that often. But apparently I got a ton of drinks out of it. Like, I thought it might only give you like 10 or 20 drinks before it evaporates or whatever. But I don't know if anybody wants to count them through this fight, but I feel like I got way more than that. Dozens, maybe 60, 70, I don't know how many exactly, but yeah, fountain, cast Cure Light on you when you drink from it. So that definitely seemed to be helpful throughout the fight, as far as I might heal once or twice and then drink from the fountain once or twice. So that would help me conserve SP. I also have a water staff, which I believe comes from the water dragon in Dungeon Deceit, and it gives you +5 spell power, I believe, while casting Fountain, or +5 spell power to Fountain, which I think either makes it heal you for more, or something like that. So I just hold on to that and keep that in my trunk for when I'm going to use Fountain. So that seemed to be another helpful thing to have. So let's see, looks like he's got Sanctuary recast himself, so I'm going to have to I don't know what I'm doing here. I guess I'm spelling him up, even though I'm about to probably dispel him. But yeah, just keep on damage as much as you can. If you have to dispel, try to do it fast and try to put poison back on as soon as you can. Poison lands pretty easily, so make sure you keep poison stacked on him all the time. And yeah, just Tremolo. I didn't use any herbs because it's kind of a pain in the butt to carry herbs around. Mix them all, costs thousands of gold, takes up a bunch of room in my trunk, and this guy is immune to fire, so Flame Wind and High Explosive, I believe, wouldn't have much of an effect. Although I was talking with somebody after the fact, and they told me they thought High Explosive did work. I don't know. If you know for sure, either way, maybe leave a comment or send me a tell in game. Anyway, so that was basically it. I just lucked out at the fact that no mobs wandered in and interrupted me. Besides that, it's just sort of repetition, doing the same thing, knowing what to do. Lots of fleeing, lots of healing, lots of sleeping, lots of debuffs. Hopefully you're a good typer. I think that's about it. I guess I could talk about some people. Originally, I was getting pissed off because I can't. I have a hard time surviving as an elf against anything that can paralyze unless it deals really low damage. So I was getting pissed off about these stupid spiders, rock spiders that are around here. In the end, I guess the strategy would be, if you are going to try to fight a rock spider, or I guess anything that paralyzes for that matter, the secret is obviously calm and de-spell it all the way and spell it up all the way. But the secret is, once you get it spelled up and you're trying to take damage it and kill it, is to flee just for the heck of it, flee every couple of rounds. If you ever see it casting, obviously flee. But yeah, just flee every couple of rounds and keep yourself topped off, so that way if you do get paralyzed, hopefully it will be in one of the first rounds and you'll have as much life as possible. And obviously keep yourself spelled up, keep your AR as high as possible. So I did manage to kill one spider in my journeys, but then there was a whole bunch more. I think it was right before my attempt right before this one. I was getting pissed off. I wasn't even going to try to fight the worm because there were so many mobs around, so I was trying to kill some of them off. And I did end up killing one spider, but I think the biggest issue with me for that is that I'm an elf, and I only have about 2,000 HP, if that, with all my gear, and that's with my hit points maxed out. I can't get any more hit points, and that's with an aura that gives you plus 100 hit points. So other races might have a little easier time surviving through a paralyze, but for myself, even with the mob fully debuffed, one of the spiders got me, and I was close to full hit points when it happened, and I couldn't outlast it. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's about it. So I just lucked out with this one. Keep on grinding with it. Eventually you'll find your rhythm. I'm not sure. I feel like Tremolo worked really well for damage, but I was considering possibly using Ice Ball. I think this guy's weak against water, so I don't know who has a water spell. I probably should, but I think it's Druids and Saguins or whatever. Well, that's the other thing too. If you scroll back a second, oh, there it is again. There's an emote that apparently stops the regen of the Lavawyrm. It stops its script or disables its regen script. How you trigger it, I don't know. If you read the tablet, which I mentioned before, it mentions a bard who was wandering around this floor and found a magical spring, which then, once he found it, the spring headed over to where the Lavawyrm was, and basically did this. It basically stopped the lava, which heals the Lavawyrm, and turned it into steam instead, which hurt it. So how you trigger it, I don't know. I have just, while I was wandering around, I have run into a thing where it says the magical spring like pops up and then disappears, searching for a warmer climate or something like that. So I don't know if the secret is just to like wander around through rooms until you trigger it. But I feel like on this run here, I feel like I didn't trigger it, and yet somehow midway through the battle here, it started happening. So I don't know if it was luck. I don't know if the imps had mercy on me and somehow triggered it for me to stop my complaining. about how hard this was. But either way, somehow it triggered, and it seems to have helped anyway since I got the kill. If anybody has any more information about that, feel free to share that as well. But yeah, that's where I'll leave it for now. Check out the video. Send me comments if you have anything to add for as far as strategy, or if you have any critiques in my video. Yeah, send me a comment, send me a tell in game. Like, subscribe, share it. That's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.